Dear prospective students, this is normally the very best time of the year at the University of Miami Middle School of Medicine. We just celebrated Match Day, when our soon-to-be graduates discover where they're going for residency. We are preparing for graduation, a time when the excitement of family and friends completely fills the air. This is also the time of the year when we would normally be welcoming you to campus for a second look. This is a fun time. Sadly enough, this year you cannot visit us in person because the global pandemic caused by COVID-19 has forced us to embrace the concept of social distancing. I'm happy to report that the University of Miami is at the forefront of the fight to save lives. We are treating patients around the clock. Our researchers are pursuing new rapid diagnostic tests and therapeutic interventions to combat this vexing virus and stop this global pandemic. Although you cannot visit us in person for a second look, we want to remind you of the exciting opportunities that await you right here at the Middle School of Medicine. This video will introduce you to a number of exciting innovations at the middle school, including the Next-Gen MD curriculum and all of its new and exciting features. You will learn about our renowned student programs, such as DOCS, which stands for the Department of Community Services, and of course the academic societies, which are some of the jewels of the middle school. We will share with you information about finances and show you around our community. Also, I personally invite you to join us on April 17th for a question and answer session online. We will have our deans, faculty, and students available online to answer all of your questions. We are thrilled that you are seriously looking at the University of Miami Middle School of Medicine. I can assure you that you will not find a faculty more dedicated and committed to your success than the faculty at the middle school. In fact, we live vicariously through your success. In addition, Miami is an exciting place to learn, to discover new things, and experience life to the fullest. This diverse community has something for everyone. I know you'll love it here. So welcome to the U. For more than 60 years, the University of Miami Leonard M. Miller School of Medicine has been a force for change. Whether it is responding to a natural disaster, or our DOCS program delivering healthcare to the most underserved and disenfranchised members of our communities, the middle school has a deeply rooted history of service to the South Florida community. Today, we are redoubling our commitment to prepare and inspire the middle school's next generation of physicians to become transformational leaders who will help define the future of medicine, direct health systems, and impact healthcare globally. We want to ensure that the middle school graduates are ready to advance our global mission. We recently brought together a group of middle school leaders, educators, and students to redefine that mission, to create our why. The middle school's overarching priority is to empower our students and trainees to transform lives and to inspire them to serve our global community. Now, we will need input from all of you to define how we will bring our why to life in order to train the next generation of physicians and researchers. The guiding principles that are fundamental to how we achieve this goal are to nurture, collaborate, lead, challenge, and innovate.
One of the great advantages of our medical school is our partnership with Jackson Health. Our classrooms are right across the courtyard of Miami's largest and busiest hospital, Jackson Memorial. Here you'll have the privilege of serving the most disadvantaged communities of South Florida.
Simply put, you'll see things here that you've only read about in your textbooks.
Over the past several months, we've been working on our next generation medical curriculum. All of us want to see innovation as a primary goal. It starts with a refresh of the way we teach, with more active learning. We want to take students out of the classroom and into the clinical environment as early as possible. We want to offer real-life experiences that will inspire them more than a standard curriculum ever could. My name is Lanny Gardner. I'm the Executive Dean for Education here at the Miller School and have been here for a very long time engaged in patient care and teaching. I want to talk to you today about the philosophy and engagement of students in the new curriculum. I had the privilege of interviewing a number of you during the interview season, but not all. And I wanted to share the message that I shared with those applicants. The faculty have been working for 2.5 years together on a remarkable approach to medical education, which very much parallels my own personal experience and that of many of us in terms of the learning process. While much has been written and supported about this new process, I think it's more convincing if you've undergone it and understood it yourself. Think for a moment of when you have had to teach a colleague about a difficult and vexing problem, and you understood from the first that you really didn't understand it well enough to teach it. And then remember when you finally got it, your colleague got it, and the kind of understanding, both in terms of depth and long-lasting nature, which you achieved by presenting patients and cases and complaints, giving you the information to solve the problem, but require that the students themselves come up with the answers, and in that way solve the problems in a much more effective fashion than it being presented in lecture-based format. As I said to those students who I had the privilege to interview early on in this process, we're not out only to select the best students for the Miller School. We're out to select partners in our new medical education enterprise. I'm hoping you find this as exciting as the faculty who have been working on it and the entire institution which supports it.
We're excited to show you our new curriculum, and obviously we would have loved to have done it live, but as you heard from the dean, that's not possible right now.
As you can tell by our physical distancing and attire, we're clearly in unprecedented times, but we certainly hope to show you all about our curriculum in this video.
Our curriculum has evolved since the 1950s when we were the first accredited medical school in the state of Florida. Our faculty have been hard at work to produce the Next Gen MD curriculum, and we're thrilled to showcase it for you.
The Next Gen MD curriculum, born out of the work of a 2017 task force and 8 planning teams working since then, identified 6 key pillars of the new curriculum, including building from the right group of learners, assessments informing curriculum, disarticulating the traditional 2+2 curricular structure, an emphasis on active learning methodologies, longitudinal skills in mentoring, and an institutional commitment to education. The Next Gen MD curriculum strives to empower learners to transform lives and inspire learners to serve the global community. The curriculum will produce transformational leaders who will shape the future of medicine, direct health systems, and champion discovery and its translation into clinical interventions. The overall program education goals for Next Gen MD are outlined here. Graduates of the program will demonstrate the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors in these core domains: professionalism and interpersonal skills, health system sciences, biomedical knowledge and clinical care, and practice-based learning. The curriculum is broken into 3 phases, which we will now describe in greater detail. Phase 1 is grounded in the foundational and translational sciences that are taught and learned during the first year through symptom-based cases that incorporate health system science, social determinants of health, core clinical skills, and professionalism. Phase 1 is completed over 14 months, inclusive of 2 months of capstone work, and includes 12 weeks of foundational, translational, and health system sciences taught in the context of the healthy patient, and 29 weeks that incorporate these sciences using symptom-based cases. Here's a snapshot of the morning of Phase 1 in action.
My name is Dan Sussman, and I'm one of the co-chairs of the Phase 1 committee of the Next Gen MD curriculum. This Phase 1 of the curriculum is broken down into 2 major components: the foundational sciences and a symptom-based component of the curriculum. The symptom-based curriculum is largely based on cases that are interactive in nature. In this video regarding abdominal pain as the symptom, you'll see students in groups of 5 interacting not only with the instructor, but also with each other, generating hypotheses and answering questions that will help them retain their knowledge for the future. Home learning is important for the success of the curriculum, not only using the materials that the students are provided, but also undergoing their own hypothesis-driven investigation on their own to answer important clinical questions. The new curriculum is meant to mimic the way information is presented to modern physicians and physician scientists, needing to take an ever-increasing amount of information and be able to apply it meaningfully and importantly to clinical care. The teaching style of the new curriculum will provide the tools that our physicians and physician scientists will need to apply an ever-expanding amount of information to their needs in both the clinical and scientific realms. The NextGen MD team is confident that the new curriculum will give our students the skills they'll need to be successful as the next generation of physicians and clinician scientists.
Medicine as a profession, or the essentials of medical practice, covers 7 content areas: clinical skills, professionalism, communication skills, population health, health system sciences, nutrition and wellness, and personal development. In Phase 1, students have bi-weekly early clinical experiences longitudinally in the offices of community voluntary faculty, an EMT light experience developing skills in emergency response, including experiential opportunities with local paramedics, and an experience with navigating patients through the local healthcare landscape. Mastering clinical skills is a foundational part of being an outstanding physician, and we use standardized patients and a mastery learning approach to teach these key clinical concepts. Paul Mendez, our Director of Clinical Skills, will show you how this works.
Clinical skills consists of several different important competencies, including obtaining a patient's history, performing a physical exam, and analyzing all the patient's data to come up with a diagnosis. It includes communication skills, which involves the ability to be able to communicate effectively with different types of patients in very different situations. We start teaching you this on your very first day of medical school, and we progress in a developed manner throughout your 4 years. To teach this, we use a wide variety of methods. Faculty will provide didactic sessions and videos demonstrate the steps involved in performing the exam. But clinical skills is not something you can learn passively. You have to practice and demonstrate these skills to ensure competence. Through the academic societies, 3rd and 4th year medical students are chosen to be clinical skills trainers to teach you the basics of history taking and physical exams. We then utilize a robust standardized patient program to follow up on this and ensure that you are able to perform these tasks in a competent manner in a safe and simulated environment. Standardized patients are rigorously trained to portray patients, to teach the clinical skills, and to provide immediate feedback to you to help you identify strengths and areas of improvement. Competency-based education and a mastery model of learning means providing the students multiple exercises and multiple assessments to make sure they're progressing to a high level of achievement before proceeding to the next level. Our goal is to ensure that before you begin your clerkships in Phase 2, that you are ready to effectively and competently interact and evaluate patients. And before you graduate, that you are ready to perform under the indirect supervision as an intern during your residency.
Understanding the social determinants that drive wellness and disease is also critical to improving patient and population health. Jeff Brosco, who oversees our medicine as a profession theme, will highlight some of these key features of this.
There are many parts of being a physician that go beyond laboratory science and how you diagnose a disease. Communication skills, clinical skills, how you examine a patient, how you understand what's happening with them, what happens in the community and the impact on health on all of our patients. Nutrition and wellness, personal development, all those sorts of things really matter. We put this all together in something called medicine as a profession. We divide it up into the 7 key themes, most of which you probably already know about. You've thought about clinical skills and how you interview and do a physical exam. Professionalism is essential. It's the ethics, it's the law, it's the physician's behavior that really matters. How you communicate with patients is also essential. You need to make sure that you have the skills, not just with patients, but also with each other and with others in the medical community. Nutrition and wellness is an increasingly important part of how medicine works. And personal development is something that's really essential to us. We want to make sure that you are thinking about how to be a leader and how to take what you learn from the Miller School of Medicine and use it in your everyday life as a professional. Population health and health system science are sort of 2 sides of the same coin. You've probably heard already that your genetic code is less important than your zip code. That is, where you live and where you work, who you are hanging around with matters much more for your health than does some of the biology of your body. And the way we think about that in medicine and profession is through something called population health. That is, where you live, where you work, how those things matter. And health system science is how doctors respond to that. How does our healthcare system respond to that? One of the ways that we teach you about that is something called the community health practicum. So in addition to small group sessions and other ways of learning, this is a longitudinal learning experience across the first 14 months of your experience. And it starts off where we put you in small teams to try to learn about one community in Miami-Dade County. Its history, its geography, demographics, what are the most important health issues there. And you present that as a team to all of us on November 2020, more or less, or a few months later. And teams have come up with very creative ways to do this. They have videotapes, they have little different kinds of approaches. And the basic idea is to teach each other about different communities in Miami and compare and contrast them. Then we ask you to come back in the spring of 2021 and tell us what you can do to improve health and reduce the disease burden. And we ask you to choose one particular example, say stroke or diabetes, and come up with interventions that you could do as a clinician in your office, what your healthcare organization could do, what you could do in the community, what partners you could work with. Would you have a community garden? Would you change the rules about how parks and community places work? And then lastly, we asked you to think about federal and state policy. What are some of the things that you could do that would improve outcomes for the entire population? And then lastly, we ask you to come back to us one more time and present your plan, maybe focusing on one or two in particular, but think about the interprofessional teams that you would put together and work with someone from a different graduate school or from a different profession. Think about how you would actually implement your plan. And beyond that, we hope that at least some of you will decide that you can actually work in your community and make a difference there.
The humanities and its role in medicine is also an important part of this curriculum. Gary Agarwal, our Associate Dean for Clinical Curriculum, will highlight this.
Along with the biomedical and clinical sciences that you will learn in the next-gen curriculum, we wanted to embed a clear understanding in students that bioscience and medicine take place within cultural and social contexts. This is the value of the humanities, the arts, literature, history, social sciences, and ethics. The humanities can provide insight into suffering and the human condition, the perspective and individuality of each patient. There have been studies that show that incorporating the humanities into medical education can help develop and nurture observational skills, analytical skills, empathy, and self-reflection. As an example, we might examine a piece of art by Frida Kahlo to discuss the patient perspective on illness. The artist suffered a terrible accident which left her with many chronic injuries. In this piece, Tree of Hope, Kahlo has juxtaposed a version of herself as ill next to a more vibrant version of herself to make meaning of her chronic pain. Visual art is particularly powerful because it can train students to be attentive to detail and understand the perspective of others when they listen to the interpretations of other students. We have tried to incorporate the humanities into discussion of the cases, offer a pathway in the humanities, and are finalizing a master's in medical humanities and bioethics that will be offered to students in Next Gen MD. Knowledge is only one measure of ability. The best physicians are those that quietly observe, patiently listen, hear the individuality and perspective of each patient, and are able to effectively communicate. These are the qualities we hope to see in our graduates.
Phase 2 consists of integrated clinical clerkships during the second year, where continued themes of foundational, translational, and health system sciences are embedded within the clerkships. This provides students ample experience to plan their future areas of concentration. Phase 2 is completed over 12 months. It begins with an introductory boot camp to the clerkship curriculum, covering core content areas including defining the medical student role, interprofessional teamwork, basic procedural skills, basic documentation skills, self-directed learning techniques, and how to be an effective learner in the clinical setting. Additionally, the boot camp covers content that is reinforced throughout the entire phase, including social determinants of health, patient safety, leadership, health advocacy, wellness promotion, and quality improvement. The clerkship experience is divided into 4 12-week integrated clerkships: practice of medicine in inpatient and outpatient internal medicine and its subspecialties, from ER to the OR, covering emergency medicine, anesthesiology, and surgery, mind, matter, and medicine, covering neurology, psychiatry, and family medicine, and finally, health through the lifespan, covering obstetrics, gynecology, and pediatrics. All clerkships begin with a pre-clerkship block week that consists of case-based collaborative learning sessions highlighting basic science content pertinent to the upcoming clerkship. This block week also consists of interprofessional simulation exercises between medical, nursing, and other health professional students at sites including our School of Nursing Simulation Hospital. Basic science content will be taught using multiple modalities including online learning and interactive large group sessions, in addition to case-based collaborative learning that continues weekly during each clerkship block.
After dedicated time to study for the United States Medical Licensing Exam, or USMLE, we start phase 3 of our curriculum, which allows all students in their final years of school to develop a personalized pathway of excellence in a specialized area of interest. All students will be required to select a pathway of emphasis for their scholarly work, obtain a dual degree from a menu of 4 to 6 year dual degrees, or for a select few students who meet defined competencies, enter residency early after 3 years. Phase 3 for most students is completed over 17 months. Scholarly concentration fosters the Miller School's core identity of community engagement and social responsibility. It integrates scholarly activity into the curriculum, mirroring the balance of research, education, and clinical care required of the academic physician today. Specific content areas taught in this theme for all students include research design, epidemiology and biostatistics, quality improvement, and collaborative working environments. Other highlights of Phase 3 include career development to help students get an individualized menu of clinical electives, advanced basic science and clinical science selectives, required selectives including opportunities in population health and health system sciences, traditional electives, a sub-internship that would be individualized towards a student's specialty of choice, a scholarly project that will be completed with defined deliverables, including a capstone project, and transition to residency, in which students will complete both general and specialty-specific transitions prior to graduation.
Appropriate assessment is a cornerstone on which curricula are built. The guiding principle is that repeat direct observations of students performing the core activities of a physician, which we call entrustable professional activities or EPAs, should form the basis of determining readiness for independent practice. Throughout all 3 phases of NextGen MD, students and educators track individual progress using frequent low-stakes assessments, using assessments for learning rather than of learning. Students will be coached to create individual learning plans based on their interest and demonstrated strengths and areas for improvement. An assigned coach or mentor will collaborate with students to track their progress towards their personal and institutional goals using an e-portfolio and academic dashboard. A few other key points. Our dual MD MPH and MD MBA programs do have an earlier start date with online courses in July. We will also employ a foundational science online bootcamp for all students, roughly 1 hour per week, starting in July to ensure that you hit the ground running. We can't wait to see you on April 17th.
You'll be getting information about opportunities to directly interact with our faculty, deans, and students on April 17th through the Zoom platform, in which we'll have question and answer sessions as well as breakout rooms.
The University of Miami is truly a remarkable place to do research. Our breadth of research spans from cancer to HIV to infectious diseases, emerging pathogens, genetics, spinal cord injury, diabetes, stem cells. I mean, you name it, we have top experts from around the world. With our research response to COVID, I'm so proud to be a Kane. Our biochemistry and molecular biology department is innovating rapid antibody tests. Our microbiology and immunology department just added a vaccine candidate to the WHO list. Our epidemiology department is doing comprehensive public health studies, and it's teamed up with the mayor to do random testing to really understand the prevalence of infection. And we have medications and phase 1 stem cell clinical trials, both approved and in the works. And you can't match the patient population in South Florida. We are sought out as a clinical trial site because we are a global city with a population that is so ethnically diverse. Being so close to Latin America and the Caribbean, we have so many global health research opportunities right in our backyard. Here, students really play an integral part of the labs. Since I've been a student here, I've been doing research in Dr. Hare's lab studying the mechanism of stem cells and cardiovascular disease. It's such a remarkable experience to have access to such groundbreaking clinical trials and be a part of translational medicine. There's also unique mentorship and collaboration between medical students. You can start at any level and become proficient in research. Between our NCI-designated Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis, Bascom Palmer Eye Institute, Hussman Institute for Human Genomics, and Interdisciplinary Stem Cell Institute, to name a few. You really can't go wrong. Come to the U if you want to be a part of groundbreaking research.
The Mitchell-Wolfson Senior Department of Community Service Program, or DOCS, is a student-run organization that serves medically underserved communities throughout Miami-Dade, Broward, and Monroe counties. Over 95% of medical students at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine volunteer through DOCS throughout their 4 years. DOCS provides Miller medical students with limitless opportunities, including involvement in clinical medicine as early as their first week, countless leadership and mentorship opportunities, and the opportunity to establish long-term and meaningful relationships in our surrounding communities. DOCS hosts 10 health fairs each academic year, where medical students work alongside physicians to provide care to over 1,500 patients per year. Medical students work diligently with community partners to understand their communities and engage with our patients in a meaningful way. We offer USPSTF guided screening tests to address the preventative health needs of our communities. After the fair, our DOCS patient navigation program pairs medical students with high-risk patients to help navigate them through the challenges of accessing the healthcare system. DOCS also has 3 student-run clinics in Miami-Dade County and 1 clinic in Broward County at the Regional Medical Campus. Our clinics offer a range of services, including primary care at the Center for Haitian Studies and Caridad Clinic, rotating subspecialty care at the San Juan Bosco Clinic, and wound care and STD screening and care at the IDEA Needle Exchange Clinic. Students can get involved in these clinics as part of the care team as early as their first weeks of medical school.
Outside of health fairs and clinics, DOCS also has a number of projects that students can get involved in. For example, our emergency preparedness team works to prepare medical students and patients for all types of emergencies, from active shooter drills to stop the bleed campaigns to partnerships with community leaders during states of emergency, such as a hurricane or pandemic. Students are critical to the constant evolution and improvement of DOCS, and there are select teams within DOCS dedicated to these efforts. The Research and Quality Improvement Team dedicates itself to improving the services we offer our patients. The DOCS Community Health Leadership Conference and National Health Leadership Consortium work with medical schools across the nation to share resources and collaborate with one another, as well as spread the DOCS model to other medical schools. Please visit our DOCS website at umdocs.org for more information. We hope to welcome you to our DOCS family soon and look forward to continuing to provide care to our communities most in need.
DOA screening criteria, so we're providing to clinicians to see who should be tested at this time.
Gotcha.
So what we're doing here today is we're answering phone calls from all over Florida, and those phone calls consist of people worried whether they should get testing, healthcare providers looking for support, or questions whether they're following the proper standards of practice, all types of questions regarding COVID-19.
The possibility of sending a kind of an SOS email out.
The center is currently staffed by our normal poison center staff, plus is supported by a lot of our medical students from the University of Miami. The medical students are an incredible part of our operation, and their tireless efforts to really provide the highest quality of information in a very caring and compassionate manner have really allowed people to react appropriately and to really have trust and confidence in the information that we're providing them.
This experience means to me is it's an opportunity to help the Florida community when there's so much unknown. So quelling any fears or uncertainties that the community has as a medical student. So your husband tested positive for COVID?
The people who make up our student body, we're really passionate, I feel like, as a unit, and we've really taken like a firm hold on trying to contribute as much as we can from either our apartments or from here, the hotline.
In the world we live in today, information is essentially power, right? And the better educated the public is, the more capable they will be, and the more appropriately they can respond to the problem, the pandemic that we're experiencing currently.
What we're able to do is empower students to be leaders in their community as well, allowing students to answer questions of their Florida community, train them on different public health topics, and give advice to their community. So it's very empowering to know that we can make a difference in this level.
Well, hello, class of 2024. My name is Dr. Marie-Denise Gervais. I'm the Assistant Dean for Admissions and Diversity, and I want to welcome you, class of 2024. First of all, let me say how proud I am of all of you because you made the cut. You are now accepted to our wonderful institution, the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. I remember you the day of your interview, and hopefully you will remember me. I'm the one who helped you take a picture with you, and I did the wrap-up for you. You were all excited to come for interview, and now you have been accepted. You should be very proud of your accomplishment. Now the question that you ask yourself, why would I come to the U? As you remember, the day of your interview, we talked about how important diversity is in our institution. And I pride myself of saying that I'm working for an institution where at the admissions committee and at all levels of this institution, we're trying very hard to have a contingent of the class, the student body, to be more reflective of the patient that we take care of. We have an awesome Office of Diversity of Inclusion that is there to support all of our students with this effort. University of Miami is probably one of the institutions where diversity and inclusion is celebrated. You will be taken care of, you will be mentored, and it is the place where research happens, community engagement happens, and all of that with a concerted effort having diversity in mind. So one more time, congratulations to all of you. I hope to see you all in the fall.
Congratulations, class of 2024. This is a remarkable accomplishment. You may be feeling a bit overwhelmed by your options. I understand how important it is for you to be at a place where you feel at home, where you feel welcome, and where you belong. As you evaluate multiple factors, including the school's academic approach, student services, and the general environment, let me take a moment to highlight the Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Engagement and some of our programs. The Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Engagement at the Miller School of Medicine is committed to fostering diversity, inclusion, and equity. Diversity enriches the medical environment by building mutual respect and teamwork to prepare students, faculty members, and staff for citizenship in an increasingly complex society. It strengthens the environment by providing opportunities for communication between people of varied backgrounds, promoting personal growth, and a healthy community by encouraging critical thinking and challenging perceptions. As a diverse community, the school is better prepared to face the challenges of the future in advancing medical knowledge with research and in dealing with the clinical needs of our society. The mission of the Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Engagement is to advance a learning and working environment in which each student, faculty member, employee, and trainee is encouraged and empowered to reach his or her fullest potential, regardless of age, gender, race, religion, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, socioeconomic, or political background. To develop a healthcare workforce that will fulfill our commitment to caring for a diverse local and international community. We do this by the following ways. First, providing academic and social support to students. Second, working with diverse student organizations in celebrating commemorative month programming, highlighting the rich diversity of our community. Offering opportunities for students to engage with our diverse faculty in formal and informal settings. engaging medical students in mentoring local high school students, which is part of our community engagement mission, and being engaged with our summer pipeline programs by serving as teaching assistants, being role models, and modeling the leadership that we're looking for. And then finally, providing medical students opportunities to shadow physicians in a variety of specialties. So again, congratulations, welcome to the U, and we hope to see you this fall.
Hello, my name is Carrie Glass, and I'm the Executive Director of Student Financial Assistance and Employment. We know that the commitment to medical school can often be a bit daunting financially, and we look forward to helping you navigate those waters. We are here to assist students in making the best decisions short-term as well as for their long-term future. We work with students every step along the way to make sure that they know what is required and how best to manage their finances. We communicate with students via email, by phone, and in person, and we look forward to working with you to make your dreams a reality. Please consider the U as your new family.
Hi, I'm Halit Machaber, the Associate Dean for Student Services here at the Miller School of Medicine. It's my privilege to welcome you to Second Look Day. So you may be wondering, what is my role in the Office of Student Services, and what does that encompass? We are a division within Student Affairs, and we really fill many different responsibilities and roles overall to support our medical students in numerous ways. In our office, we oversee numerous parts of your general involvement in medical education. Physical health, behavioral health, our academic enrichment program. We also lead a longitudinal and very important component of your career guidance, ultimately helping prepare all of our medical students for their transition to residency. And we also have a robust wellness program that continues to evolve with student leadership and involvement. In terms of physical health, we understand that our medical students, like every other person, need to stay healthy. And so our office serves as the liaison to both your access to health insurance and your physical health needs. We work with our colleagues on the Coral Gables Student Health Service and also maintain an urgent care practice here on the medical campus and at the regional medical campus for our medical students. In terms of behavioral health, we understand the wide variety of needs of our medical students and have focused a lot of attention over the past few years in expanding our behavioral health offerings. We again partner with the UM Counseling Service, and we have 2 dedicated full-time counselors on the medical campus and also a program that we utilize for full-time counseling for our regional medical campus MD, MPH students. Additionally, we partner with the UM Department of Psychiatry to provide psychiatric care as needed for our medical students. One of our favorite activities in the office is to help provide a wide variety of opportunities related to career guidance and professional development for all of our students. I have a wonderful team, our office manager, Ashley Johnson, and our assistant director for career services and wellness, Ms. Christina Garcia, and I work together to implement a 4-year longitudinal career guidance program. So from the time you hit the ground running, there will be opportunities for you to explore your specialty interests, your general interest in a career in medicine, shadowing opportunities, a robust source of research opportunities for our students across all 4 years, as well as the all-important preparation for a transition to residency later in your career once you've decided on a medical specialty. We provide those services through one-on-one counseling, group meetings, working with interest groups, and also many workshops and individual advising support as needed. We also have a wonderful team who oversee our academic enrichment programs. Those are led by our director, Dr. Adrian Reynolds, and our associate director, Mr. Lamar Martin. In their office, students gain one-on-one attention as well as working with really incredible student-led groups that direct the science of learning curriculum and implement a lot of attention on helping you succeed academically. You'll meet them when you arrive. Additionally, we provide support in our office for any accommodations or disability services that students may need I serve as the liaison along with Mr. Lamar Martin, who also works as our disability specialist. Lastly, but certainly as equally important, is our robust offerings in the realm of medical student wellness and well-being. We want you to succeed while you're here with us at Miller, and we know that to do so, we want to keep you well. So our wonderful student-led Wellness Advisory Council works with our office and Ms. Garcia and me to help provide a wide variety of offerings, again, from weekly, monthly, or year-round special events and opportunities. Additionally, we work together to think about ways to best incorporate wellness into our curriculum, and you'll certainly be able to participate in many of those when you arrive. We have an open door policy. We're available to our students all the time. We're here to support you, and we can't wait to meet you.
Originally coming from California, coming to Miami was a little bit of a cultural shock. And particularly as I went on this whole trail, going to different places for my own residency application, I came to realize that Miami was a very unique place and is a very unique place for multiple reasons. The first thing that you can obviously tell is the weather year-round is near perfect. And that really allows for a lot of different opportunities that you can have, not just in the hospital, but also outside. And that's the most important part. As a medical student, being able to balance the inside and outside of lifestyles. Miami is very big on making sure you're outside, making sure that you go enjoy your life, whether it be at the beach, whether it be scuba diving, going to visit friends at different places, bars, restaurants. This ultimate weather experience allows you to have then a very nice outside of hospital life. On top of that, this is springtime in Miami. Winter is just like this too. So you can have these experiences year round, whereas some of my colleagues are texting me that they're indoors and it's snowing outside. I'm at the beach, I'm by my pool, enjoying my life, which is going to be very important. Not only does this allow you to have an outdoorsy experience with sports and all these things, Miami is such a cool place as a venue in its own regard. As a result, so many people, so many different organizations choose to come to Miami, and that ultimately makes it very beneficial for you as a student. The different major sporting events. Miami has a basketball team, football team, baseball team, now soccer team, you name it. So you can do these things when you're not studying. Miami also has Art Basel, one of the world's largest art exhibitions that you can go to every year. Miami has Miami Food Week, where multiple upscale restaurants come together, give their patrons cheap food, essentially. Miami as a venue is going to be a very big role in your happiness, I think, as a student. Miami has a lot of different places you can live. It has an urban core where a majority of the medical students are going to live. For example, Brickell. Brickell is where most of my classmates live, but living in Brickell has a huge benefit to it. Not only is it close to the hospital, but far enough away that you're outside of the lap of medicine. You have bars, you have restaurants, you have all your friends in close proximity to each other. You can really allow yourself to let loose when you're outside of class. You can live by the beach. It is a little bit of a different lifestyle. You do have to commute a little bit further, but in fact, commuting into the city in the morning is actually much faster, believe it or not, living at the beach. But then if that's not the lifestyle for you, if that's not what you want, Miami also has a suburban Venetian area that you can really experience, the Coral Gables and the surrounding areas around that. Miami has a very, very unique thing about it as well. We are so close to Latin America and the Caribbean that we're really able to experience what those cultures have as well. There are so many different cultures, so many different peoples that all confluence together, and that's what makes Miami, Miami. Not only is that going to be beneficial for you medically, but personally. You can go to different places. You can go to Little Havana and experience the food and the dancing and the salsa there. You can go to Little Haiti and experience similar things, except just different enough that you're in a whole new place, whether it be a few feet away, a few blocks away. I think that ultimately is something that a lot of other places don't have that you can really capitalize on when you're at Miami. So finally, I do want to just kind of end off with one main story, and ultimately what sold me on Miami. Imagine this. Imagine you are a medical student and you're working hard and it's morning and you're exhausted, and you come to campus, and essentially what you're seeing as you're driving to campus is the Miami skyline in the morning. When the sun hits those buildings, there's water, there's green, there's color around you. Imagine how happy that must make you feel. Just a little bit, just a little happy. Now imagine that feeling every single day for 4 years. Not to say that med school is going to be easy here and there, but the net positives over the course of 4 years, I think ultimately make a huge difference in who you are as a doctor, and more importantly, who you are as a person. Miami did that for me, and I hope that Miami can do that for you. And if you decide that Miami is the place, welcome to the family.
We'd like to thank you for participating today in the University of Miami's Second Look Day. It's not exactly what we had planned from the start, but we think we did okay. And we hope that we were able to answer a lot of the questions that you have. And at the end of the day, you'll be able to log on to the AMCAS website and select University of Miami first as plan to enroll, and then after April 30th to commit to enroll. We certainly appreciate your interest, and we look forward to having you here as a medical student in August. Thank you again.